90% of all Facebook strategies you see online are wrong. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's working for scaling your Facebook ads in 2025. And I use these same strategies to scale this ad account here from $179,000 per month in ad spend to over $600,000 a month in ad spend just few months after. So I'll show you the old way of scaling that doesn't work and the new one that you should be using right now. So what is the old way of scaling? The old way of scaling is using interest scaling, scaling with lookalikes, and horizontal scaling. And these don't work. So what's wrong with interest scaling? Interests are a dying targeting option. There's less interest available demographics that you can target on Facebook now than it was, let's say, 1 year ago or 5 years ago. So Facebook is constantly shrinking those options for you. Also, Facebook is becoming more of an automated platform, which means it just wants you to give it the right creatives, the right angles, the right ads, and then it will place in front of people that are most likely to buy your product. So Facebook wants to take that part completely away from you. With interest scaling, you'll be limited on how much you can scale. You won't be able to spend $50,000 or $100,000 a day if you're just using interest scaling. Also, you'll have higher frequency if your targeted audience is small. So if your audience is only 5 million people, it's not actually 5 million people, because out of that 5 million people audience, there's only, let's say, maybe a few 100,000 people that are currently on Facebook, that are currently available to see your product or to buy your product. So Facebook will be showing it to that small audience. And as you show your ads again and again to those people, your frequency will skyrocket and you'll get worse and worse results. So what's wrong with scaling with lookalikes? Number one is the size. Lookalikes usually are not big audiences. Also, you cannot scale with such a small audience. If it's only a few million people, there's very limited scaling potential with those audiences. So even if they are profitable, maybe on a day 1, day 2, day 3, they will eventually die very fast because the audience is simply too small. Also, if you're optimizing for purchases with your campaigns, Facebook is already trying to find people who are most likely to buy, right? So they'll just use the prior data from the ad account to find more of those people that are likely to buy. So using lookalikes pretty much defeats the purpose, because at the end of the day, Facebook is still optimizing for conversions and people that are most likely to buy. Now, what's wrong with horizontal scaling that a lot of people are using? Number one, you're gambling with audiences and placements. Facebook algorithm is advanced enough to place your ads where it most likely will get you the buyers. So this is the old way of scaling and it doesn't work anymore. So what is the new way? The new way is predicated on this latest Facebook update, which is called Andromeda. You can Google it. I'll also link it below in the description so you can read it. And the key here with Andromeda, it was released a few months ago, is the creative diversification. So what Facebook wants, it wants you to have completely different variations of your content. Like, for example, testing different hooks with the same messages. Also, it rewards completely different angles and messages for different segments of the market. It likes consolidated campaigns. It likes when you have less campaigns with more ad spend, going to different creatives, to different demographics, to different segments of your audience. And then Facebook just wants to take that part completely away from you and optimize it itself while you focusing on just giving it the best creatives possible. Also, if you're using Advantage Plus campaigns, they amplify diversification, which means they make it even easier for you. You don't have to worry about the bids. You don't have to worry about the budgets, the targeting. Like, Facebook just takes that away completely from you. And at the end of the day, Facebook right now is creative-led targeting platform. So for example, if you're using the images of old people in your ad and you're targeting people from 25 to 65 plus, Facebook will scan your image and it will show that image of an older person to people who are most likely to buy, which is older people. So Facebook will scan all of your creatives and it will show it in front of people that are most likely to buy. There's a great takeaway here, because let's say if you're selling to older women, you cannot be using young models in your ads. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see entrepreneurs making, because they're hiring all of these UGC creators or actors that are young and they're trying to sell products to older people. It simply doesn't work. With Andromeda update, you also want to have variety of different formats and messaging. You want to have statics, you want to have UGC, you want to have podcast format, demo, unpacking, testimonials, street interviews, as many different formats as possible, as many different angles as possible, so that Facebook has enough of an inventory to show these ads to different segments of people, because they know, for example, this person would react to static ad, or this person would buy from the podcast ad, or this person would react to unpacking ad and would buy from that specific ad, and it would show that specific ad to that specific person at that specific time to get you the conversion. You also need to have messaging for different segments of the market. So for example, you can have messaging for working moms, women that have certain health conditions. So all of these will be segments of your audience, and the more of them you stack, the more you'll be able to scale your ads. Now, this here is a foundation of scaling. You want to have enough creatives sent to Facebook so Facebook can optimize those for you. But then if you want to take it to the next level, you can use more advanced strategies that I'll show you right now. So for example, you can use 3-hour optimization search scaling method. So this here is every 3 hours, you're making changes to your ad account based on daily performance. Now, this will be predicated on you just like sitting in your ad account all day, even though there's certain hacks to that. And you'll be increasing the budget, decreasing the budget, and cutting the campaigns based on their performance. Now, if you've been running Facebook ads for some time, you know that you could have a creative, you can have an ad that does really well on Monday, but could do terrible on Tuesday. So this approach allows you to take advantage of the good days while minimizing the impact of the bad days. Like for example, if you have a bad day in terms of the performance, you don't want to just like ramp up your ads like 3x in budget because you will just lose more money. And this approach works the best with broad targeting. So everything about targeting interests or demographics, you would just completely abandon, you would just focus on broad targeting here. So what does this look like in real life, right? So let's say you have 5 different campaigns, your KPI is 1.5x, which means you're aiming for at least 1.5x ROAS on your ads in order to stay profitable and in order to scale. So the budget for each one of these campaigns, let's say it's $100 a day. And let's say you launch these ads like overnight, and by 9 a.m. you see the performance. So campaign 1 is like 2.5x performance, campaign 2 is 0.7, campaign 3 1.5x, campaign 4 3x, campaign 5 1x, right? So they all perform differently with the results. So what you would do here is you would shut down the campaigns that are not profitable, that are below the KPI that you're looking for, and you would leave those that are profitable running. But then you would ramp up the budgets on the campaigns that have good performance, so they're spending more money. So you would ramp it up from $100 a day to $200 a day on campaigns that are above your break-even ROAS that are profitable for you. So then by 12 p.m., you would look at your performance again. So let's say campaign 1 is at 3x ROAS, so it's kind of like even improved in performance. Campaign 3 kind of like still on that break-even point, 1.3. Campaign 4 is 2.1x. So the campaign 3, because it decreased in performance, you would decrease the budget to $100 a day. But the campaign 1, you would ramp it up to $400 a day. So here you basically just doubling the budget again on campaigns that are profitable for you. So you can maximize the ad spend on campaigns that are making you the most money. You would do the same with campaign number 4 here. At 3 p.m., you would check your ads again. Campaign 1, let's say it's at 4x ROAS, very profitable. Campaign 3 declined in the performance, so just 1x. Campaign 4 kind of like improved performance as well. So you would shut down the campaign number 3 and you would ramp up the budget on campaigns that are profitable for you, which is campaign number 1 in this case and campaign number 4. By 6 p.m., you see 2.5x ROAS on the profitable campaigns, campaign number 1 and campaign number 4. So you would ramp it up to $1,600 a day. So you just want to squeeze as much budget as possible from campaigns that are hitting the right bucket of people on a given day. And then at 12 a.m., it basically would all reset. So they all would be back to $100 a day. Now, this is kind of like very hands-on approach to scaling your campaigns, but this is the approach that will allow you to spend a lot more money profitably. So maybe on a given day, you would spend $5,000 a day on ads. With this approach, you can spend $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a day on ads profitably. And that's how you can scale your business a lot faster. So what campaign types should I be using? You might be asking. So 3 campaign types: ABOs, Advantage Plus Shopping, and bid caps. So what type of targeting you should be using? Targeting is very simple. It's broad, right? Just keep it very simple. Why broad? Because it has the simplicity. It also has the biggest audiences possible. Like you're literally targeting like hundreds of millions of people, but because Facebook has data point on all of these 100 million people, it will know exactly who to show your ads to. So it will not just like randomly show your ads to random people. It will show your ads to people that are most likely to buy. And this targeting has the most scalability. Like if you want to ramp up your budgets, double your budgets, triple your budgets, quadruple your budgets like we've did with the account that I showed you, that's the best way to do it. Also, it allows you to compete more on your ads and technical setup. Like stop trying to out-gamble Facebook algorithm. It's smarter than you. It's smarter than me. It's smarter than like all of us combined together because it's like there's like literally extremely smart people sitting and creating this whole algorithm and you trying to focus on little things in your ads manager, try to optimize your ads instead of focusing on what's the most important, which is your creative, which is your ads. So So how many ads should I have in each campaign or ad set? I would recommend 3 to 6 winning ads per campaign or ad set. You can separate your image ads in one campaign versus video ads in another, just to keep it simple and see the data in a more congruent way. And Facebook will usually give more spend to a video if they're in the same campaign. So if you have videos and images, it will try to allocate more spend to the video, which might not be ideal for you. Maybe that video doesn't even perform. So that's why I would recommend to separate them. But this is what has worked for us in our ad accounts where we spent, millions of dollars per month. So you should always test it for yourself. So what are the benefits of this approach? You can easily deal with highs and lows of Facebook. You can take advantage of the great days, just spend as much as humanly possible and then scale down on bad days. And it's overall more profitable. We've tested different approaches. We've tested different strategies. This is the approach that makes us the most money and helps us to scale our business. Also, with this approach, you would be able to see more data. You'll be able to see the times when people are buying. Also, you'd be able to see specific days that people are buying your products more. So maybe Mondays completely suck for you, but weekends absolutely crush. So you'll be able to allocate budget where it makes you the most money. Now, there's certain objections you might have here. Like, for example, I don't have enough time to go in like every 3 hours and optimize and downscale and scale my ads, right? No problem. There's certain ways to automate it. We'll go over this later. But if you think about it, the impact on this on your business, even if you had like a full-time media buyer on your business, just sitting in that account and doing exactly what I shared with you here, that can make you hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars a year extra that you would have made otherwise. So this is one of the most impactful things that you could ever do. That person, if you hire them, if you hire the right person, that person will make you so much money. But if you just want to run ads on a small scale, like $100 a day, you would just stay there and just optimize for a 3x ROAS and just like make your $300 a day in sales, just stay there. This is not for you. Now, another objection you might have, what about resetting the learning phase? There's this whole concept of like, oh, you have to run your ads for 7 days. It has to have at least 50 conversions and then it will start optimizing. Bullshit. Like, this is complete bullshit. Like, don't believe it, because if ads are good, they'll work from day one and they'll be profitable from day one. And if they're not good, then no matter how much money you spend, it will not be profitable. Like, you won't turn, just by spending more on an unprofitable ad, you won't turn it from unprofitable ad to a profitable ad. Maybe there are some exceptions to this rule, but it's very rare, and most of the times you just lose money. Now, why does this approach works is because you need to understand how Facebook works, and specifically the latest Andromeda update. Facebook algorithm is very simple. When you launch ads for the day, Facebook places you into different pockets of an audience based on who they think will be most likely to buy. So even the same ads, the same campaigns, same creatives, on different days, they'll be targeting different segments of that audience that you're targeting. And so by checking ads every 3 hours, you can see whether one of your campaigns is a winning audience or not, whether it's hitting the right bucket. So for example, if I'm targeting broad audience, women over 45 years old in the United States, that's like massive tens of millions of people in that audience. And within that audience, there will be some segments, some buckets of people that will actually buy my product. Other buckets might not buy my products. So Facebook on different days will place my ads in all of these different buckets. And so if I catch it fast, if I see it's hitting the right bucket, then I can maximize those results. And if it's not, I'll just cut it faster and I will not lose money. Also, Facebook works on 24-hour clock. Its algorithm resets every 24 hours. So yesterday results don't always guarantee today's results. Now, there's certain tools to make your life easier with this approach. Number one, you need to have a set of KPIs on when to scale and when to cut on a day-to-day basis. If we're hitting $3 cost per click and it's way too expensive and the ads are not hitting the right segment, then you would shut down those ads. Or for example, if you're getting very low click-through rate or very low ROAS on specific ads, then you would shut down those ads and you would not maximize your losses. Also, you can set up rules in Facebook so you can automate scaling and cuts. It's not as reliable. I don't recommend that you rely just purely on Facebook. It kind of like functions with delays. Sometimes it just turns off or turns on the wrong ads. So you might be losing money using this approach. I would recommend to have someone kind of like manually doing it. Also, one more thing, don't forget to check ad level ROAS, because sometimes you would have the campaign that is profitable as a whole, but it could be even more profitable. So you can turn off some of the ads there that are not profitable for you. One of the most important things here is that don't be afraid to scale and don't be afraid to make cuts. If you do this approach for 1 week, you'll learn so much about your ad account, about when you can make the most money, where you can make the most sales, which days you shouldn't be scaling, which days you should be scaling. So don't be afraid to scale and don't be afraid to make cuts. So key points to remember, you can only scale if you have great creatives. And I have some other tutorials on my channel that you can check out on making great creatives. Creatives will always be the most important. It's less important than just playing with algorithm. You might not even do like all of this like surf scaling and playing with budgets, but as long as you have great creatives, you will win and you'll be able to scale. Also, testing campaigns differ from scaling campaigns. So some campaigns, like maybe you're just testing creatives and they kind of like perform average, like those are not the campaigns that you want to scale. And if you want to find more winning ads, more winning creatives for your business, you should be using Get Hooked. This is a tool that will allow you to find winning ads faster and scale them faster. Now, I want to leave a quick disclaimer here. This is what worked for me in our brands. Like this is like literally the approach that we do on a day-to-day basis in our ad accounts. This is something that needs to be tested before you spend your entire budget on this strategy. So test it on a small scale. Don't come to me like 1 week after on YouTube and like in the comments like, hey, Alex, I tested your approach and I spent $100,000 on unprofitable ads, but I just followed your strategy and it didn't work for me. Test it on a small scale. If it works, just ramp it up. If it works, it can make you hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. But if it doesn't, you just shut it down and keep going back to the stuff that worked for you before. And if you want to scale your ads faster, you should absolutely be using Get Hooked. You can use Ad Library or some other tools. This tool just has like 38 million ads that you can look into. You can see exactly the scripts. You can see exactly where they're driving their traffic to. These ads are saved here forever. You can create your own personal swipe file where you save the best examples of ads that you can leverage for your business, and you can literally spy on what's working right now. Sometimes you would see some brands or some formats or some particular creatives that are just like mind-blowing and you wouldn't discover those otherwise, but because it's scanning Facebook Ad Library 24/7, you would see so many new ideas of creatives and ads that you can test so you can find more winning ads for your business. It also has automated AI images creation. So here you would literally just add one of the images that you saved and it will create variations for you of the other images that you can test right away. And you can also spy on your competition and see exactly why. And you can also spy on your competition and see exactly how many ads are launching. So for example, this particular brand, they started advertising here. You can see in June, they only launched 7 ads, but then in August, they launched 1,100 ads, which means they're scaling right now. And I can model or learn from their ads for my own business, their formats, the structure, even the scripts. I can rewrite those scripts for myself and run them from my product. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you apply it in your business. Will be able to scale it. If you want my personal SOPs on scaling Facebook ads, I just covered a little part here. Just DM me scaling on Instagram and I'll send them over to you. So my Instagram should be below this video. Subscribe to my channel, like this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.